and welcome back to another random places tutorial. Today in the neighbor's car.
Hi.
He's the one that's driving, little hidden off to the side over there. We are headed up to his parents' place. If you didn't know, I'm filming this in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and after some self-isolation and making sure we don't have it ourselves, we're heading up to his parents' place to camp out there and wait it out. Now, since the first random places tutorial I filmed, I've wanted to do one in the car, and I finally have the chance. I have an interesting setup here that I will show you in a bit, but you're gonna see a little bit of shaking, you're gonna be seeing cars coming by, you're probably gonna see everything we have in the back, and you're gonna see the lighting change with clouds and bridges and all that jazz, and you're gonna see me toggle the camera like this until I'm happy with the way it is. But I'm gonna do my makeup in the car today, and I'm gonna take you with me to do it. So if you want to see how I create whatever I end up creating based on what of my makeup I can actually get to, then please keep on watching. You're also going to see me singing along, and that is 100% not my fault. So this is how I'm set up in the car. I have my tripod balanced between my legs to keep it sturdy. I have my makeup in a bag on the floor down there as well. And I have the neighbor next to me keeping me company while we drive. First thing first, I'm starting out with primer and a good song. The primer I'm using is the Essence Prime Plus Studio Mattifying Primer, so I'm going to squeeze a bit out on my finger and rub it into my face. And this stuff has an interesting but good smell to it. So once I have that all rubbed in, I'm going in with my LA Girl Pro Matte Liquid Foundation. I'm putting 3 pumps on the back of my hand, and then I'm going to put the thing back where I found it. It was so much effort to get it out because it's in the little drawers in my makeup compartment, and I couldn't pull the drawer out all the way while I was in the bag, and I couldn't take everything out of the bag either, so I had to wiggle it out of there to be able to put it on my face. And then I just used my actually damp beauty blender to blend it all out. Onto concealer, I'm using this LA Girl concealer in the color Porcelain, and the beginning of a pandemic is a wonderful time to realize you're almost out of any and every type of concealer and you're not going to a shop again to get any more. But I'm gonna work with what I have, and again I used my damp beauty blender that I'm so proud that I remembered to dampen the thing before going, and I'm blending everything out. I'm using this Essence Nude Illusion Translucent Setting Powder. I'm tapping it upside down to get some of it into the lid, then I'm picking it up with my kabuki brush and buffing it onto my face. If you think this is a lot of powder, you should try it out. I have dry skin and this works for me regardless. Moving on to blush, I'm using this Essence blush and this blush brush from Wet n Wild, picking some up and brushing it onto the apples of my cheeks, swooping it back towards my hairline. I thought it looked okay in the camera, but it was a bit much, so I blended it out later a bit more with my kabuki brush. But here I'm having a snack break before moving on to my contour. I'm using this Shade and Light palette, and as per usual, I'm giving you a mini mirror tour of where I'm sitting. You see the makeup between my legs, you can see my camera stand and where my phone is propped up. You can see the road so that you can see we're actually driving. You can see the neighbor doing the wonderful driving for us, and you can see out my window on the other side. I am going to go in with the middle and the lightest shade, and I'm going to work it into the hollows of my cheek to kind of sculpt my face a little bit, even though today I feel it didn't make much of a difference. And then I went underneath my chin as well to make my chin look a little bigger, and on the top of my forehead to make my forehead look a little smaller. I then picked up a thinner brush and decided to contour my nose, which was a bit of a bumpy experience, but because you're gonna blend it all out in anyways, it doesn't have to be too straight or too perfect. I also applied a little bit of the color underneath my lip to make my lip look a little bit bigger. Next is highlight, and I'm still using this highlighter from my Carly Bible palette. I'm using a pencil brush and I'm applying it carefully on my cupid's bow. I'm also going to be applying it on the bridge of my nose, and you can see the camera decided to follow my hand here, so it's bobbing as I color in the bridge of my nose. I'm also putting some underneath my eyebrows because I finally did my eyebrows and I can show them off again. And with my fingers, I'm adding a bit on my cheeks. Moving on to brows, I leaned in so that I could see what I was doing while I was brushing them out with a spoolie. Then I brought my mirror down so I could actually look at what I'm doing. Because a car makes it difficult enough, the no mirror makeup challenge is not gonna work here. I am still using this Essence Brow Kit and an eyeliner brush, and I'm using it to fill in my brows. I went outside the lines a few times, but luckily you can kind of just wipe that off, and then I ended up with brows like these. Then I decided to do eyeliner next because I had an interesting type of look in mind. I want to make a pop of color on the lower lash line and blend it out along the eyeliner, and for that purpose I had to have the eyeliner on first. So while the road is still relatively straight and flat, I am drawing on my wings. They ended up being thicker than I wanted them to be, but all things considered, I think they turned out quite cute. Can you see the focus? Because the camera ain't focusing. And there we go, that's what they're gonna look like. Moving on, I'm going to pick up that rosy color and a brown color, mix the two and apply it straight into my crease to start some definition. I'm following my crease for the most part and then winging it out a bit when I reach my eyeliner wing. I then picked up a bit of a flatter brush and blended it out underneath my lower lash line as well, making sure to drag it out along my wing. I then picked up a sandy nude color as well with the same blending brush and used that to make the edge blend a little smoother. And I'm embarrassed to admit how long it took me to figure out to get your blending game on point by blending it out with different colors and not just blending one color a lot. I then picked up a dark brown color on a thinner brush and stamped it right into my crease. I was very nervous about this part, but I knew if there was going to be a dark color on the lower lash line, I needed to have some focus in the outer corner, at least on the top. So I placed the color there and slowly blended it out without applying any more product because I did not want to go overboard. I then picked up a nude color and used it to clean up my lid. I don't want a full on cut crease, but I do want my lid to be cleaner than my crease. I then picked up the tiniest bit of orange and blended it out on the edge of the browns as well to add a little bit of extra color because I wanted there to be an orange fade at the bottom. And what happens at the bottom has gotta happen at the top. I then went in with green from this BH Cosmetics palette of mine. Yes, green, that is the pop of color I decided on because I was wearing a green sweater. I love green. It's around St. Patrick's Day, so I have to wear green inherently. So I picked up a flat shader brush, hit bumpy roads now that I'm going to be working right up against my eye, and carefully dragged as much green on my lower lash line as I could and decided to deepen the color with a shimmery green color from my Born to Run palette. I have to say I liked that little bit of shimmer underneath my eye, but this part was so stressful because the roads were not even, so we were like bouncing in the car and I could see the brush bouncing in my hand and I could practically feel the brush going in my eye already, even though luckily that did not happen. I came out of this with both my eyes still intact. But yes, I decided to apply a bit of a pale orange color to my lid because after I applied the green at the bottom, the top looked a little bit empty with the clear lid space. So I applied that pale color there and thought it rounded everything off quite well. Here I realized that I forgot to apply highlighter in the inner corners of my eyes, so I promptly did that to kind of tie all the eyeshadow together. And then my camera slid around a bit, so I had to hold it for a bit before I could continue. Next, I took a black eyeliner, and again I wanted to actually be able to see what I was doing, and I didn't want to actually stab myself in the eye, so I pulled my waterline down so I could safely access it without risking my eyeball, and colored in my waterline. I did tightline a bit, but that was risky business, so I only did it so much and then called it quits. I was brave because we were at a red light and then immediately regretted it when we started moving. And then for some reason I decided I needed to touch up my eyeliner because the eyeshadow made the black more grey, so I decided to go over it, and man, was it hard to do your eyeliner in a bumpy car, even though the fact that I already had the eyeliner underneath made it easier because I could kind of just follow the lines, but it was still a difficult task. I was too afraid to go into my inner corner because I was just gonna mess it up. I messed it up regardless. We hit a bump and I smeared it right on my lid, but we're not gonna deal with that right now. We're gonna curl our lashes instead. I waited a few minutes for the eyeliner to dry so that I don't smear it any further with an eyelash curler, but I carefully curled my lashes. It feels like I missed half of them because I couldn't really see what I was doing and we were moving and I didn't want to pinch my eye, but lashes are curled, and next I'm going to apply mascara. And mascara is the whole reason why I never would apply makeup in a car. Today is obviously the exception, but when I was younger I opened up mascara in the car, was gonna put it on, and whoop, I hit the roof of the car with the mascara wand, and there was a mascara stain on my mother's car's roof, and I was like, nope, never trying this again. So from that day to today, I never tried again to do makeup in a car, and I have to say I'm quite glad it went as well as it did today. Lipstick, however, was a struggle. I got it on my teeth a few times. We hit a few bumps as I was lining my upper lip, and then went over the edge and had to like scratch it off and apply it again, so it took a lot longer than usual, but I got it done and then decided I'm not crazy about the color because why would I make this easy for myself? So I applied a little bit of concealer in the middle of my lips and used my finger to blend it out. Still didn't like the color, so I applied a bit of a nude lipstick, blended that out to create a bit of an ombre, and went over that with a clear gloss. Which, even though the end result worked for me, it felt so bad. The liquid lipstick I used plus the clear gloss just does not work. It makes the liquid lipstick come off entirely, so my lips were sticky for the rest of the day, and anything I touched, the lipstick came off, so don't do that. So test out if the mix works before you wear it out. Here I got rid of the extra eyeliner by literally scratching the extra part off of my lid and covering what was left with a little bit of eyeshadow, and then I called it a done day. I wasn't gonna try and take all of it off and then fix up the eyeliner again. That was too risky business. We just did a workshop version like this instead. And I mean, from a distance, you can't even see it, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm gonna call that a day. But for the makeup, that's it. And then this is the final results. It took me about an hour and a half, which is longer than usual, because it ain't easy in a car. I messed up the eyeliner, I messed up the lipstick, but here's what it is. We're done. We made it through. I had a lot of fun. We still have half an hour to go, and for that bit we're probably just going to listen to some more music and sing along to it, and then so I can sing along without doing lipstick or focusing on something else. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed this whole experience. I hope you're safe for this dramatic pandemic we're going through, and I'll see you again next time. Bye! If you actually want to hear me singing in the car, you should go watch the vlog I did of where this happened, because there you get clips of us talking in the car and all that jazz.